Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of The Longing, where we are, in theory, going to be getting back to the exit of the Halls of Eternity. If we do get to the exit of the Halls of Eternity, which we theoretically should do before the end of the episode, we are going to stay inside the Halls of Eternity until tomorrow, and then we will make our way back and read a little bit, read another book the day after. So tomorrow, in theory, is going to be walking back to our house, and then the day after is going to be starting to read the next book, of which we should be able to, because I think the next book we were looking at is about 130 pages long, roughly. So we are going to be looking at another 13 episodes, 14 to 15 maybe, depending on how tricky or how long it takes us to get through the book. So we are looking at, thinking about it, we are still looking at a lot of episodes, because if we've got 13 to 15 per book, let's go 15 to be a bit more realistic and conservative. With how long it's going to take us to read these books, some of these books. So we've got 15 episodes per one of these books, and each of these books, and we have about 5, I think, books of this length still left that we were planning on reading, with some smaller and some longer ones scattered in between. So that's going to be like another 200 episodes easily, because we're going to have some spatterings of coming back into the Halls of Eternity every now and again to top it off, because we do still need to be grabbing that paper. There will be certainly, I can say this with some certainty, there will be some in May that we're certainly going to be coming back in May to do some of these Halls of Eternity again. Potentially we're going to be doing 15 episodes in the Halls of Eternity, probably 16 to be quite honest, for that particular one. 8 one direction, 8 back. Then the next, it's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Probably about 17 to 18 in between August, July for another one. So, gonna have a few spots of being able to get a lot of things. Maybe by then we'll have come up with some topics of conversation. Maybe if you want, suggest some topics of conversation for what we can talk about while we're in the Halls of Eternity. I must remember to ask the devs whether the head bobbing is intentional on the reflection. Like, is it compared to the body? Because the body and the head don't move like they should. I know it's very hard to see, but the head on the shadow moves up and down the same way. So as the head on the actual head on the shade goes down, the head on the shadow goes down. And when the head on the shade goes up, the head on the shadow goes up. But the body and the legs and the feet and the arms and stuff, they go towards each other as it bobs up and down. They go towards and away, whereas the heads are static. So I wonder if it's an accidental feature. Well, I guess feature. Yeah, bug or feature. Is it a bug or a feature? Yes. Probably that kind of situation. But it's something I do want to ask about. And I think I will have asked by this point. So, if I get a response, I will include it in another video, or at least sort of paraphrase what's been said. Why have I got the mouse there? Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I have no idea whether it's intended or whether it's just sort of a side effect of some coding loop that's been missed. Maybe it's a metaphor to say, even in reflection, the head is unchanged, but the one's physical self is malleable, because they can move together. Because the head, I don't know. I'm tired at this point. All right. There's probably nothing special or intended about it. It was probably just an accidental thing, and I'm thinking too much into it. But I am definitely going to ask about it. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea if you can see it or not. Oh, actually, I don't know if it'll work on anyone else's monitors, but if I sort of sit higher and look down towards the bottom, it becomes clearer. But that could just be my monitor. It becomes a lot clearer when you do that, actually. Yeah, the neck disappears as the shade is walking, in the reflection at least, whereas in the actual shade's neck doesn't disappear. Yeah, aha, we're at the door slightly early, which is fine, absolutely fine. So we are just going to plonk ourselves here for a minute while the end of this episode does come around, because we are going to wait till the 10-minute mark as per usual, but at least we are on the return to home part tomorrow. If what I will do, no, don't leave. What I will do is tomorrow, it'll be fine. I was going to say that tomorrow, before we leave, before I start recording, I may just leave the Hall of Eternity so that it's not bright at the very start, and we get the dark, the sort of more calm lighting, shall we say, going into it, so people aren't blinded. Although we are coming out of the Halls of Eternity, you're blinded by the brightness of the Halls of Eternity anyway, so it's probably a moot point. But it was one I was just thinking, oh, maybe I could, maybe I should, but I've decided not to. So, with all of that in mind, thank you very much for putting up with this trek through the Halls of Eternity for the time being, and I will say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night, no matter what time of day it is. I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.